Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I have a deck profile video of Endymion, and apologies for delaying this so late because I'm not confident enough to really explain how this deck work until I somehow know a bit more about the deck. I don't think I mastered it yet, so if any Endymion more experienced player that's watching this, do feel free to comment down below to educate the rest of our community here. It will be greatly appreciated. Yeah. So before I go into the deck list, if you're enjoying the content so far, don't remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Hit the notification bell and join our Discord channel as well to continue the discussion there. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the deck list. So this Endymion deck list I would say is a pretty standard Endymion deck, but the only main thing that I play differently is having Amano Iwato here. I'll explain a bit why I play this, but for Endymion itself, there's other variations such as Spellbook and Sentoki's mini package inside. But the main objective of Endymion is to actually keep activating spell while you have your skill or monster on the field, so that they can gain spell counters as you activate them. And then I would say most of them has an effect where if you remove a certain number of spell counters, you can execute some sort of effect. Yeah, so I think I'll quickly run through some of them. So we have a 1-star jacket, Mythical Beast Jacket. This card, if you have as a monster, you can remove 3 spell counter. You can then special summon 1 Mythical Beast monster from your deck. So this card is actually used to summon out your either Jacket or your Master Caribous, which I'll go into them later. And I would say the main, for me at least, I feel that one of the main card is actually the Mythical Beast Jacket King. Because this guy actually, as a monster, you can remove 2 spell counter. Wait, let me hear. Remove 2 spell counter and negate a monster effect, and then destroy it as well. So it's a very strong card, and it's not hard once per turn. So if you have 2 of this card, you can actually negate twice. And the spell counter doesn't have to be on this card. It can be from any of any cards on the field. So it's actually really very good. And Mythical Beast Master Caribous, on the other hand, is to use to either search, the Pendulum effect is either used to search out your Beast Jacket so they can gain spell counters, or actually to get out your Jacket King so that you can use your Pendulum effect to special summon out 1 Mythical Beast from your extra deck. Yeah. So in general, that's how the Mythical Beast package works. It's really just to bring out your Jacket, and then either use his Pendulum effect to add counters, or use his monster effect to special summon out one either your Jacket King to have a early Nibiru negation. Yeah. And as for the Endymion package, the main thing for this card, I would say, the Servants of Endymion, because this card, you can remove 3 spell counter, then special summon 1 card from your deck that can place a spell counter on it. So like, yeah, both this card and 1 monster from the deck with 1000 or more attack, and you can place a spell counter. Yeah. So this card will usually either summon out your Mythical Beast Jacket or your Mighty Master. Your Mighty Master monster effect is actually to negate a spell trap by returning 1 card you control with a spell counter to the hand, and then those the spell counters on that card will put onto him instead. Yeah. And one strong thing about this card is, if this card has a spell counter, your opponent can target it with card effect and cannot be destroyed by card effect as well. So this is a really strong card. And I would say this is one of the reasons why I like to play Endymion, and not sure about the rest, but I feel that this card is the main thing for Endymion as well. I'll explain in a bit. Then for Magister of Endymion, this card special summon from your extra deck face up. Not to me, it's not exactly one of the best card, but playing it at 3 so that I have a high skill is one of the reasons I did this. Yeah. And or else I could have just played 2 as well. I saw quite a number of players play 2 so that you can have more spell as well. Beast Garuda is actually more of like a MST effect, where you can destroy 1 spell trap on the field. Yeah, so this card or the monster effects, you can just bounce back 1 of your opponent's special summon monster. Yeah, so either way is still pretty useful. I leave it at 1. And another thing to take note is all the Mystical Beast effect, you cannot Pendulum effect is you cannot control another card on the other skill to activate those effects. So do take note when you play this deck. Astrograph at 1, although I don't really play much Astrograph because I don't even touch the extra deck much. Then for Reflection of Endymion, you can actually usually use your Magister monster effect to special summon out your reflection. Because it's monster effects, you remove 3 spell counter on the field, special summon 1 monster from your deck, which you will summon reflection of Endymion. And then when this card comes out, you can actually target 1 opponent card and 1 card you control with spell counter, return both that card and your card to the hand. So it's actually a pretty good interruption there. And the good thing is it's also level 7. That means that you can actually exceed it with either Astrograph or Mighty Master to go into your Absolute Dragon. And then link your Absolute Dragon away to trigger its effect to special summon 1 Odd Eyes card from your extra deck, which you will get out your Odd Eyes Vortex. So it's still a bit similar. I would say this part is a bit similar to Odd Eyes Vortex, but I mean a bit similar to Pendulum Magician. But it's not something that you always prioritize. Yeah. And as for the rest, because you need a lot of spells, so you want to get a lot of drawing power here. So activate this, draw 1, and if the draw is another spell card, you can draw again. So that's why there's like 3 Upstart Goblin is a must here. Then Terraforming is of course for your Chicken Game. Chicken Game itself is also a drawing card. And one good thing is you don't have to worry about this because Mighty Master can destroy it. Yeah. So I think I forget about Mighty Master effect. So the main reason why I play this deck is because of the skill effect. You remove 6 spell counter from the field, special summon this card, and then you count the number of cards you control that can have a spell counter, then destroy up to the number of cards. So the main thing is you just need to be able to hold a spell counter, but you do not have to have spell counters on them to count it towards this. So if let's say you have a field card, you have a few monsters that's on the field that can put spell counter, once you summon out, you can destroy that number of cards on the field, which is really very strong. Usually it can go up to like, usually you have maybe like at least 3 or 4 of them that you can play spell counter. Yeah, so this card can, I would say minimally, once you execute its effect, you can at least destroy 3. And there are times where I get like 6 or even 7, yeah, which is very strong. And one thing is a pendulum effect task is not a monster effect. Means that your opponent can't use any monster negation to negate this effect. Once you remove 6, and then if your opponent doesn't negate it, you can straight away destroy that number of cards on the field. Yeah, very strong. I'll have a replay by let me see, Yntd later. He submitted it. I just want to leverage on that, yep, to showcase the power of this card. Okay, the rest are really just drawing spells, so you have Into the Void as well. All these are like +0 cards because you really need to draw 1 without sacrificing anything. There are cards that allows you to reshuffle your hand, but it's actually sort of like a -1. And these are all very good cards to do a +0 and still get a spell counter. And Spell Power Mastery, this is also a very strong card because this itself gets you an Endymion card and gives you a spell counter as well. And the good thing about this is also once you activate a spell, it gives 1 spell counter to whatever that needs that can add spell counters, and this card can add 1 more. So actually, once you activate this with this card on the skill, you already have 2 counters. And then since you add Endymion card to your hand, you can actually set another Endymion onto the skill to add a 3rd counter to it. So with this card, you will definitely have 3 counters very easily. Yeah, so this is a very strong card. And Secret Village of the Spellcaster, I'm actually thinking if I should remove this because I have too many field cards, and I will usually want to end with either the Citadel here, or actually a Secret Village of the Spellcaster. Yeah, because this card helps to accumulate spell counters, but it doesn't do much during your opponent's turn. So I would say maybe once you fully utilize its spell counter, then you replace it with your Secret Village or Spellcaster. Yeah, so I think with Secret Village or Spellcaster is your opponent cannot activate spell card as long as you control a Spellcaster. But the bad thing is, if you do not have a Spellcaster, you cannot activate spell. So do take note, if you play this card, do not activate this immediately, because once you do that and you don't have a Spellcaster on the field, you cannot even activate your Pendulum, Pendulum skill. Yeah, so do take note. This Magical Citadel is mainly to help you build up your spell counters on this card, and then your Endymion can actually remove spell counters from this from Magical Citadel to activate its effect, even if it doesn't have spell counters on itself. Yeah, and Chicken Game is just a +0 card, and somehow it protects you a bit if you are taking too much damage. And sometimes people do forget about it, but of course experienced player will definitely remember this. And Mythical Institution, this is mainly because I play the Mythical, quite a bit of Mythical Beast package. This card actually helps to pump up the number of spell counters on it. And it also has a search effect where you can remove X number of cards and search for a Pendulum monster that is level X. Yeah. And of course, how we won't forget about Call by the Grave is because it's a spell as well. So any Maxi or Ash Blossom during your turn, it actually helps you to activate your Call by the Grave to give you a bit more spell counter. Yeah. So that's roughly the deck. Extra deck, I will say a lot of them are not very important. The main thing are still really your Electromite here. Then IP I would say is optional, but I find that IP is good because you can link into your Underworld Goddess during opponent's turn, assuming you have already exhausted every negation on the field. And this will help you to remove one more monster on the field. And then Celine, I would say at least 2. I don't think you need 3 since it's a UR. I think it will be good to save it. Because this card helps you to add a lot of spell counters on it after you finish all your spell. So after all the spell goes in the graveyard, once you summon Celine, it will add spell counter based on the number of spell in the graveyard, which is really very strong, especially if you want to summon out your Mighty Master later on. And since you play Celine, definitely you will want to play your access code as well. This is just in case you need that multiple destruction if for some reason your Mighty Master can't come out. Yeah, so I would say this card you can put it in, but overall, all my matches, I don't really play much of the extra deck. It definitely helps, but I would say 75% of the time I did not touch my extra deck. Yeah. So that's basically how the Endymion deck works. There's definitely a lot more to explain, but I won't go into it. And oh yeah, I forget about this. This is the card that I love because I think that Endymion is pretty good going second. And even if going first, there's a lot of setup. But if let's say you are going second, this card actually helps to stop everything. Because it's a passive effect, it doesn't activate or anything, so it cannot be negated unless you negate the summon. So once this is out, your opponent and yourself can no longer activate monster effect. But how won't this affect your own? But I mean, won't this affect your own self? Don't worry about that because all your effects are actually Pendulum skill effect, which means they are all spell effect, which includes Mighty Master, the multiple pop effect, which I mentioned just now. It's not a monster effect, it's a Pendulum effect. Yeah, thus you can still use this effect to summon out and destroy it. So one way is when you summon this out, you can also destroy either your Chicken Game or your Amano Iwato if you want to activate monster effect after that. Yeah, so it's a good, but you can, because this card don't just destroy your opponent's card, you can just destroy cards on your own field as well. So you can remove your Chicken Game or your own Amano Iwato after you set up properly. Yeah. Okay, I think I talked a lot too much about the deck list, so let's quickly jump into the one of the replays submitted by Yntd. Let me just paste in the code here and let's jump right into the duel. His duel I'll be sharing in a replay as well, so you can check out the full duel there as well. Okay, let's jump right in. I'll fast forward the starting. He's mainly playing against Drytron, which is a deck that has a bunch of negation and everyone hates it. So if you realize, actually Endymion don't play any hand traps because of stuff like Into the Void as well. I'm not sure if Yntd play the same build as me, but usually we don't play hand traps. Okay, so yeah, actually Drytron really takes forever to combo. Okay, although I'm fast forwarding, let's make it fast. Okay, ultimate. Oh, not yet. Okay, yeah, so more stuff. Retreats, mill your Eva. Oh, Eva is already in. Eva grabbing out your Orange Terror. And then another ritual, and this will be your ultimate. Yep. I think this should be it. Okay, that's still moving. Okay, okay, are you done? Are you done? Oh, there's a, okay. Okay, there's more. Okay, grabbing out the ritual. The ritual can keep coming back, that's damn irritating. And then Union Carrier will be out. Union Carrier, link something. Okay, so what he did now is you normal summon your Amano Iwato, so his ultimates cannot even activate any negation now. So this is like your best time, even those from hand, like all the Orange Terror, you can't activate it. So now is the time where you activate everything. So usually you want your servant to be on the scale, Servant is one of the better, I would say it's one of the main card in Endymion to bring out everything. So once it's on skill, you just need to keep finding ways to activate a lot of spells. So now he activate the first spell, he gets 1 counter, and then activate spell power mastery to add your mighty master. And then since then this effect will give 1 spell counter, and since it's a spell, you get 1 spell counter on it as well. So now easily he has 3 spell counter, and he removed to get a Master Carabas. Why Master Carabas even though you cannot activate effect because of Amano Iwato? Because all the Mythical Beast Carabas and Jacket King gives you 2 spell counter when you activate spell. So it's really good for you to grab them out to ramp up your spell counters to use for your Mighty Master, because Mighty Master needs 6 spell counters. So now he has 1 each. And then using the institution, he grab out Jacket, which on Pendulum skill effect, on activation you get a spell counter, and then you can destroy it to add 1 spell counter. And since this card is destroyed, your mythical institution will add 2 counters on it. Yeah, so if you realize like there's 4 here, there's 2 here, and there's 0 here. Yeah, so it's there's like 6 now. And since you activate Mighty Master, you get 2 more, and you activate this, you get another 2 more. Yeah, so in this case he Pendulum summon first, so don't forget that this deck is still a Pendulum deck. You can still Pendulum summon, and then your Mighty Master will grab out 6 effect. And if you count on the field, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's like 5 cards that can hold spell counter. So technically you can destroy 5 cards on the field. Yeah, it's a max. It's like this. That's the max number, but you can destroy a bit lesser as well. So in this case, he decided to choose 4, and then you destroy all 4. And then since there's nothing much he can do, he can't even open Nibiru or anything because there's Amano here, and then you just go for a beat down here. Yeah, so it's a really very strong deck. Like going second, there's so many options that you can do, but of course this deck there's still a huge weakness for this deck. Let me just go back to the deck list first. So I think if you have if you remember what I mentioned just now, the main thing is need to keep adding spell counters by drawing and drawing. So Duel and Lock actually stop this deck directly because you can't summon anymore. You can't keep drawing your spells to activate it. And I would say Imperial Order will kill this deck as well. So do take note if there's stuff like Imperial Order. But I guess there are some ways to grab it out. That's why I place a Phoenix inside, just so that I can maybe Pendulum summon 2 and then get Phoenix out to destroy 1. But even then it's still quite dangerous because I already exhausted so many resources. Yeah. So overall, this is my understanding of Endymion deck, and I hope this will give some insight to people who are interested to go into Endymion. If you have any questions, do feel free to comment down below. There's a lot more Endymion experienced players in the community that will be able to help you. If not, you can also join the Discord channel and ask there. There's a few of them that's more experienced in this than I do. I'm just trying to give a summary of the deck. Yeah. So that's all for this video, and I'll be doing the deck profile for my next deck, which is my Altergeist deck, before I go into my DDD. My DDD is still currently in progress. Yeah, it's a bit more. Let's just take a quick preview of the DDD deck that I have. I haven't learned it yet, but I'm just missing a Crystal Wing and a Satellite Warrior, and okay, there's a 1-for-1 and Forbidden Droplet as well. So I'm a bit nearer to it, and do look forward to it and subscribe to the channel. Yeah. So that's all for this video. If you are enjoying this so far, don't remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Join our Discord channel and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.